Thanks for joining me. This course is entitled JMeter Web Performance Testing. The lessons for this course are intended to enlighten you about performance testing with JMeter. It is a Java application designed to load test functional behavior and measure performance of web and other online applications. This lecture will provide some overview information regarding performance test drivers, the WHYS and the WHATS. JMeter can be used to simulate various travel levels on a server, a group of servers, or the network to test an application's responsiveness or to analyze overall performance under different load types. The question that always seems to rise is, do we really need to do performance testing? It always seems to be more costly than it is worth. As some might think, what is performance testing anyway? Consider the following thoughts people entertain. Considering the performance testing activities and the cost of it, development teams have varying perspectives. One team may think that they know how to code efficiently. Performance teams cost money and time, so they think. Another team is a DIY group. We can handle the performance exercises ourselves. They like to think they are cost savers. Still, another team thinks they know how to conduct test-driven development and shift-left performance testing. We can wrap performance test processes into our development effort. And yet another team is of the thinking that is what monitoring tools are intended to do. We don't need no performance testers. There are plenty of ideas floating around that keep some people thinking they have the right answer regarding performance testing. Truth be told, I visit production websites that demonstrate inadequate functional testing, inadequate performance, and inadequate usability testing. On top of that, I keep hearing about some website being compromised because of inadequate penetration testing and performance testing. Performance testing exists because websites do not always perform well enough to meet the traffic demand. Are there any benefits to performance testing? The answer is yes. Valuable performance testing tools validate like a functional testing tool does, but it additionally measures common KPIs and supports setting service level agreements. Unlike functional test tools, a performance tool can test multiple users at concurrency levels to find issues that cannot be found with single user testing. Performance testing helps with confirming optimization and scalability. IT management sees performance benefits from one perspective, while business management has another perspective. Business analysts might say that good performance is good business. The lack of good performance can lead to significant losses. Even internal websites lacking good performance can lead to business partners and employees losing interest because of too much downtime. And of course, lost time is a factor. Employees become less productive and more costly to have employed, while business partners depend more on alternative business partners and maybe achieves fewer good services. About web applications in e-commerce and the corporate network, performance is impacted by major activities. Any website has the potential for increased traffic and spiking traffic. Depending on program quality, an application may be impacted by or the culprit of memory loss and CPU consumption. If the database is not tuned well or the programs are not checked for logic efficiencies, or inefficiencies, then applications become unresponsive to the user requests. Performance testing is essential to application quality assurance. When we try to describe performance testing, we may miss that it is two essential activities: traffic generating and test monitoring. While this diagram shows a more complex design of an application under test, this is not a primary reason performance testing is engaged. Instead, performance testing is the art of adjusting data and user traffic while engaging the target application with requests to reveal performance anomalies. Like security testing, performance testing is a non-functional requirement. You really are not so interested in how much the functions work, but how well an application performs when its functions and features are in operation. You focus your attention and those who are recipients of your reporting on speed, stability, scalability, and reliability. Did the application respond feasibly under normal and abnormal conditions? You expect it to slow down, but not to a crawl. These performance measures are important to non-functional requirements. Speed is concerned with the quickness and consistency of application responses to requests. Stability is about an application demonstrating that its performance does not degrade over time. When we consider scalability, we expect the application to continue responding effectively as traffic increases. And then, with reliability, we want to know if the application responds under stress or under stressful conditions as it did under normal conditions. The project of performance testing is multi-featured, so we give it names to describe the different type or features we are highlighting. When the application or users are the primary objects for the testing, we can clearly define the test type. For example, stress testing is intended to verify an application is responsive to intense traffic or high concurrent user requests. I would like to discuss further 3 of the performance test types. Once we have a clear picture of performance requirements, we can zoom in on what features or test types should be engaged to meet the needs. That is, if we can assign a single type that is good. But usually we should start with the baseline to have performance KPIs we can use to compare other test results. The 3 test type analysis sheets should help you if you have not been exposed to performance test categories. The next 3 diagrams identify test categories 2, 3, and 4. The tests are identified with objective details, steps, entrance, and exit criteria. We need to know what indicates the conditions to engage and what indicates a state of completion. The load test is a performance test that can run 1 or more times to meet target objectives. It is not expected that the results will be a non-responsive application. Instead, it is expected that the application response times meet SLA objectives and there are no anomalies. The stress test is intended for the application to be under more strenuous demand where user and data traffic is in high demand to the point of servers reaching high queue counts. This condition leads to the point of reduced ability to respond and keep the response times at expected levels according to SLA objectives. Tuning opportunities are recommended if scalability or capacity concerns are on the horizon. The names soak or endurance or longevity indicate the testing is intended to run an application at some level of intensity to determine if it can continue over some time with a steady response. It is expected that the memory and database buffer management remain operational, no losses. It is hard for me to talk about performance testing approaches without including spike and volume testing. When I need to know how an application responds to its users when they introduce sporadic traffic of peaks and valleys, spike testing helps to get some answers. The spikes in traffic can happen in short or long waves. These waves can produce unexpected impacts on request queues, data buffers, and load balancers. And on the other hand, volume testing can help us understand an application's ability to handle increasing user and data traffic, which impact the application and its associated database storage and retrieval processes. My time has ended for this session. I thank you for yours. Join me in the next video.